On their wedding night, the elders smiled, but their eyes were heavy. Before the drums faded, the oldest woman pulled Jonah close and whispered a rule that turned joy into silence: he must never sleep in the same room as his wife. Jonah thought it was a cruel joke until Lena stepped away without arguing. She chose the far room, closed the door softly, and the house felt suddenly larger than love could fill. Jonah lay awake listening to the emptiness between them, realizing this marriage had begun with a secret no one wanted to explain, and the silence felt alive. No one would tell Jonah what happens if the rule is broken. Every elder avoided his eyes. Every answer sounded rehearsed. The more he asked, the colder the air became. At night, he whispered Lena's name through the wall. She whispered back, her voice fragile, like she feared the house could hear them. As Jonah listened to her breathing in the dark, one question refused to leave his mind. What was this rule really protecting them from, and why did the wall feel thinner each night? Days passed gently, but the nights carried weight. Jonah began dreaming of a locked door shaking from the inside. Every time he reached for it, the knocking stopped, and he woke with his heart racing. Lena looked tired in the mornings, as if she had walked the same dream road. Neither said it out loud, but they both felt watched. When Jonah woke from the dream again, he noticed something new. The knocking had followed him into the room, and it had not stopped. A storm arrived the night Jonah almost broke the rule. Thunder shook the house, and Lena cried out from her room. Without thinking, he ran to her door, his hand trembling inches from the handle. Inside, Lena pressed her palm against the wood, whispering his name. The air between them pulsed like a heartbeat. When the storm suddenly died, the silence that followed was worse. Lena stepped back slowly, realizing the danger had not passed, it had moved closer. At the market, a traveler spoke of a couple who ignored an old warning and lost their peace forever. The story followed Jonah home like a shadow he could not outrun. That night, Lena finally spoke. Her voice was small. "My mother warned me," she said. "Our love wakes something old." Jonah felt the house tighten around them as if it understood. And in that moment, he knew their marriage was not alone in the dark. The house began to change. Doors creaked without wind. Lamps dimmed before midnight. Even the air felt crowded with memory. Jonah no longer felt safe in his own thoughts. Lena prayed in whispers. Jonah listened to the walls breathe. When the floor shifted beneath his feet one night, he understood something chilling. The rule was not meant to keep them apart, it was meant to keep them alive. Lena's cry split the silence. Jonah rushed to her door again, fear fighting love in his chest. This time the door felt warm beneath his hand. When Lena opened it, they stood inches apart, eyes full of terror and longing. The air between them trembled. One step closer could end everything. And yet the house leaned toward them, waiting. At sunrise, they went to the elders together. The truth finally surfaced. Long ago, love like theirs had healed a curse, but only if it survived separation first. The house was testing them. "If you rush," the elder said quietly, "you lose more than sleep." Jonah held Lena's hand, feeling how fragile victory could be. And he wondered how much longer the house would allow them to endure. Peace returned slowly. The house softened. Dreams grew gentle. For the first time, Lena slept without fear. Jonah felt hope breathe again. Then one night, the wall between them shivered, not in sound, but in feeling. The house exhaled like it had made a decision. Jonah sat upright in the dark, knowing the waiting was almost over, but not knowing if dawn would bring freedom or loss. At dawn, the elders arrived uncalled. They opened both doors and said the house was satisfied. The rule had ended. Jonah and Lena stepped into the same room, hands shaking with relief. They slept beside each other at last, not because the rule was broken, but because it had been fulfilled. And as the village celebrated, the old woman whispered a final warning. Love that survives a test carries power, and power always comes with a price.